What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of JaAR. JaAR, for those of you that may be new, stands for Joe
and Amy
Review. It's our weekly show where we review the magic stories as they're posted on Wizards' website. And this week we are back with more of the Guilds of Ravnica stories. This week we have a Boros Legion story with Clans and Legions, once again by Nikki Drayden. Our quick review, or my quick review at the top of this one, I would say, and hear me out, but I would say that this is my least favorite of the Guilds of Ravnica stories so far, but these stories have been so good that that still means that I recommend that you go check it out and give it a read, because they have been very good. If I were to compare this story to the stories in the last 6 months or so, this would still be towards the top. I mean, definitely not, necessarily top 3 or 5, but it wasn't my favorite, but I still liked it, if that makes sense. What about you? Thoughts?
I think I liked it more than you did. Yeah, I would say overall that I liked it. I don't know. You kind of made a point that the stories were all kind of similar in terms of theme.
We'll get into that.
But I don't know. I feel like each one has a uniqueness to it.
Agreed.
That allows for it to still be interesting, even though you've already read the others.
Right. So, as we said, we'll obviously get more into that, but as we always say, if you have not gotten a chance to read the story yet, feel free to check the description down below if you're unaware of where to find it. That will have a link to the story for you to go check that out, read it in its original form as it was intended, and enjoy. And then come back here, of course, we would love for you to do that, and join in on the discussion. Give us your opinions, tell us what you think of our opinions, etc. Because as we always say, we review, we do not summarize. So, on to the full review itself. This is the Boros story. We have one of each, seemingly. I mean, it just makes sense. 5 guilds, 5 stories. And this one is about the Boros Legion. And one that we hadn't really heard a ton about in the past stories. Like, obviously, in last week's story, which was Is It, but not really, because it was also Golgari and Dimir. Like, this one was not. It was pretty heavily Boros with a little bit of Gruul mixed in, which is not one of the 5 guilds from this set. That will be from Ravnica Allegiance come the new year. But yeah, so we start with a main character, and we find out that the main character is a Minotaur. Not only is the main character a Minotaur, but the leader of that, or that Minotaur's immediate boss, is a Flamekin. Or I should say was a Flamekin, meaning not that the Flamekin is dead, at least until the end, but that the Minotaur no longer works for that Flamekin because they are being promoted to Wojek, which is kind of a big deal, apparently. Pretty big promotion. So, and something that I have to say personally, and I'm not going to get too into this, but personally, I don't know how Nikki Drayden got that soul read on me like that. But this Minotaur, at least in the first 2 paragraphs, 100% Joe. 100%. I am absolutely at that job right now, at least, where it's very difficult to move up. Not many people really do, but I still have ambitions to move up in another position. So first of all, please, fingers crossed for me. I'd appreciate that. But second of all, they even make a point of saying in the story that the place where they work is like an old renovated warehouse. The building that I work in is actually an old renovated garage, which, as Amy correctly pointed out, looks damn good for a renovated garage.
Yes.
So
it's pretty nice.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. I do like my job quite a bit. I am not one of those people who, trudges into work every day. That's just not me. I don't know if you guys have known that. I know sometimes I tend to rant about things, but that doesn't mean I'm an unhappy person in general. I actually enjoy my job. I'm looking to move up. But that is really neither here nor there. That's a lot more into my psyche than I kind of wanted to delve today. But,
oh, yeah.
But it is to let you know, Nikki Drayden, please get out of my brain, is really all I wanted to say on that, because, wow, #relatable.
Okay, I'll say, Nikki Drayden, get in my brain all you want. Just leave his and go for mine.
There you go. There you
Just
go.
get all up in it.
Not for nothing, probably a terrifying place to be is Amy's brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just fair warning to anybody being like, I'll delve into Amy's. That is my only warning to you, is that is probably a terrifying place. Anyway, so that I just wanted to add that little anecdote in that those first two paragraphs, I had to take a minute because that was very much, I was like, oh God. But seriously and honestly, you learn a lot about this main character in the beginning. You learn that this main character is, I wrote it down, but they're good at solving puzzles. That's their thing. That's what got them into this position in the first place. It's what made them want these types of positions in the first place. To be a counter spy, if you will, to the Demir threat kind of a thing. She's able to notice the pattern in the note that she's given with the right-handed fist instead of the left, and the 10 rays instead of the 9, which I have to be honest, I'm sure most people would not have noticed that. Maybe with me, maybe the fist, but definitely not the 9 rays. I would not have looked and been like, oh, there's a 10th ray there, but maybe with the fist, maybe I would have noticed the difference. But
I would not have.
fair enough. I mean, honestly, some people have that, some people don't. You can, Amy, you can confirm this. I am the guy who does, the logic puzzles and things like that. I like to do that kind of stuff. That's just me. So,
well, I'm also somewhat ambidextrous. So I use, I write with my right hand, but I use my left hand for a lot of things. And I'm not really cognizant of that.
That's fair.
So I think I would look at that picture and just, my brain wouldn't see the other hand. It would just see it. You know what I mean?
It would just be a hand.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. And I mean, again, who knows? Who knows what I would notice? Who knows what I wouldn't? But that's really neither here nor there. That is something that we learn about this character right off the bat. Wojek Wesleyan, or Osset is her first name. But we learned that in the beginning. We then get a little bit of backstory, just a touch of her home life as a child. And we learn about her father. And I thought that Nikki did a really good job of kind of... I loved the fact where she said that the Minotaur's parents butted heads. And at first I read that and I was like, oh yeah, they argued. And then it was like, and their horns scraped together when they did it. And it was like, oh, right, bull things. They literally butted heads because they're bulls. I thought that was clever. I thought it was creative. It's something that I've noticed about Nikki is that I feel like she uses adjectives when she can. I mean, this is obviously more of a metaphor, but in a particular setting of the story, she uses adjectives that relate back to what's going on in the story. So when we're talking about the flamekin, she'll use like smoldering or crackling or something like that, relating to something having nothing to do with the flamekin in that moment, except that the flamekin is in that scene. I've just noticed that in other stories as well. Maybe I'll write down more examples if more come in the next 2 weeks, but just something that I've keyed in on is like, oh, I get it. You're using those adjectives that relate more so to the whole scene to further immerse us, which I greatly appreciate as, again, just somebody who notices that kind of thing and is like, oh, that's awesome.
I would go back to the portion about the parents.
Oh, I was going to, but yes, please, take over.
Her childhood. That was kind of the moment where Nikki was in my brain. The countless hours spent just sort of thinking while your parents are fighting or just focused on themselves instead of, for instance, making you dinner or whatever it might be. or you're in trouble. So you're waiting for that time to pass. Those are the moments in this story where I really was like, okay, yeah, this is my childhood here.
Which, you know, if you related to that as well, I can only apologize. I think the thing that stood out to me in that origin portion, that flashback portion, was when she said that she had her sister pressed up against her, kind of indicating that, like, she was holding her sister's ears closed almost, so her sister didn't have to hear the fighting. That stood out to me, because there's that moment of, even in this horrible situation, this traumatic situation, she is able to, as Amy said, while thinking and pretending to be a soldier or a protector of some kind, she's actually doing it in the process. And she's doing it on a smaller scale than she is imagining, but for what we imagine from her sister's perspective is a lot more than a small scale. And so that's what I took away from that particular portion is we're learning more about this character, as I said. So sure, she's good at solving puzzles. More importantly, she is a born protector. And she is good at it, and she came to it honestly, to be fair. You know, it wasn't, this is your job now, you have to do it, and we'll pay you for it, and or feed you or house you or whatever. It was, this is your life, and this is what you've been going through, and these are either the decisions that you've made, or depending on how you look at it, the scenario that has been thrust upon you. And so that's what I keyed in on. I don't know if...
It's cool that that's the portion that you brought up, because I've definitely been there.
Yep. And I cannot, from my own experiences, speak on that. But, again, as we have said about these stories in the past, I can thank you for sharing that of yourself with us. And for Nikki, if that is in any way drawn from personal experience, I can thank you for sharing that. But also, if you're watching, of course, but also, even if it is not, thank you for giving it that realism and that honesty, and not shying away from it, but also not going full force into what it could have been, where it would be somewhat that much more of a triggering moment for people, because you don't want to upset readers either, and that's a good way for people to tune out or to have a drastically negative experience with your stories. And I think that did not. Okay, sure, please.
I think that's that those kinds of things are the things that make a story compelling.
That's fair.
The fact that you can relate to it on such a sort of visceral level, on a level that is something that you don't want to rehash in your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can, and it evokes that's what makes a good story.
Okay.
If it doesn't do that, it's not enough.
Okay. I mean, obviously I defer to Amy's experience on that. And if any of you have any that you're willing to share, please feel free to do so in the comments. And as we always say, we read them all. And so, we will take a look.
Well, that wasn't, that wasn't me talking about abuse. That was me talking about, or my life. That was me talking about storytelling. And what makes storytelling good, what makes it real, what
mm-hmm.
makes it important for humans to do and hear. And to me, that's what it is. The ability to convey something that someone can relate to, despite the fact that it's extremely hard for them to do, or extremely hard for them to be okay with, slightly re-experiencing in your story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to be honest,
Excuse me.
you know, kind of coming at it from that angle really helps the healing process. So, you know, you can say that people will click off because it's triggering, but I think that that's a really big shame for both the storyteller and for the consumer, because I think they could benefit greatly from actually, you know, letting themselves experience that.
That's fair.
You know, I don't know that this story is the epitome of the example, you know, of the point I'm trying to make. But I think some of the stories from the past, you know, Veraska stories, you know, things like that are, you know, it's some really powerful stuff. And getting to hear that said really helps someone who has experienced it yet has trouble saying it. It gives them more power to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can admit to yourself and vocalize out loud what your detrimental experiences were for you in your life, it really helps you overcome those things. When you can't do that because you kind of need that nudge from someone or something, it's much more of a struggle just to get through the day.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So if you are one of those people that may have tuned out of this particular story for that reason, then hey, give it another shot.
Or any of the past stories.
Especially like Amy mentioned with the Veraska ones on Ixalan, I can recommend those as well, again, from my limited experience in that realm of abuse. I can still say that having known many and spoken to and listened to many and held many stories like that, that one seemed very genuine, and we discussed that on this show as well in those for those things. I am, as long as it's okay with you, I'm going to shift gears slightly and move on to a different.
Well, I'll wrap it up by
please,
saying,
please.
You know, you can trust your own resiliency a little bit there, and, you know, and just have faith in your ability to confront something from your past. It really truly does help the healing process. It really does. Nice.
And thank you.
Yeah.
I said it before, but thank you for that. As I said, to shift gears. Thank you. I wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off on any of your points. So, to shift gears, one thing that I noticed in this story, and relating to the past 2 weeks as well, a lot of these stories I felt like have been kind of allegories to the hero's journey. Just the straight up concept of, you know, this is our hero, we meet them, we learn about them, they're put in a situation where they are able to be a hero. Then they're tempted. There's that tipping point. And the past 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago especially, and then last week to a slight degree, but not as big as 2 weeks ago, there was that one moment where the whole story just went to hell. It just straight to hell.
Very derailing.
It was crazy. This week almost had that moment, and then it didn't, which I like. I feel like we're having a nice decline, right, for those things happening.
Or at least a variance.
Yes. Because this week we had that tempt moment. That moment where, I mean, it happened, but where Brazier is the Gruul, the defecting, sorry, I don't know why I said that way, the defecting Gruul clan member. And they were asking for the release of Boss Solvar. And that if Boss Solvar is released from jail, or from where they were being held, Brazier would reveal information as to a spy within the Boros Legion. And interestingly, I say the Boros Legion, just grammatically it makes more sense to me. In this story, every time it was brought up, it was Boros Legion. Boros Legion will do this, Boros Legion needs to do that. And so that's probably the way that it's supposed to be said. I'm just fixing it grammatically in my own mind, and if I'm saying it improperly, I apologize. But it always looked weird to me in that way. So, but yeah, so now we have Wojciech Wesleyan kind of being influenced and being told, hey, you have a defector, you have a spy, and you need to let this person go from jail, and I'll tell you who the spy is. And Wojciech Wesleyan thinks about it for a while. And we know this because as Wojciech Wesleyan is on, or Osette, I'll call her Osette from now on, Wojciech Wesleyan is very formal. As Osette is on her way to meet this informant through the discovery that she made with the note for the party or whatever that she realized was a coded message, Osette goes to meet this informant, and on her way to meet the informant, we hear from her in her own mind, oh, that person's violating a law, but I can't stop them right now because I have a job to do. And oh, I really want to stop this person, but I really have a job to do. And it's further information about who she is as a character. She is a Wojciech. She is a Boros Legion soldier. She is. That's who she is as a person. It's not just her job, it's who she is mentally. And she has to literally fight against the instinct to stop people from breaking the law or committing crime or whatever you want to call it, like breaking the rules. She has to force herself to not, because that's not what she's there to do in that moment, but it's who she is as a person. And so it's so hard for her to not, that she's literally almost physically stopping herself from doing it. And then even in that one moment, she kind of stops that little girl and says to her, you know, you're better than this, you don't have to do this or whatever. That's, to be fair, that's later on, but still.
The little girl listened. She listened.
Nope. I mean, to be fair, she was probably already being paid to act that way, as we find out later on, but still. So yeah, that was an interesting experience. But again, that's my point, is these are the things that we find out about Osette from the beginning of the story, and I would say within the first half of the story. And then after that, she just is herself. We've met her now, and now she goes about her business. And like I said, she was tempted to let this person out of jail, and she did it, but I think she did it out of a sense of right and wrong. Because she did it saying, what's more important? Because she finds out, by the way, that the prisoner's name is not just Boss Solvar, it's Boss Solvar Radley, who is related to what sounds like, to simplify it, a terrorist. Right? Somebody who used a chaos spell in a crowd, injured many, at like over 100, and killed, I think, 24. To me, that sounds like, as we would understand it, arguably a terrorist act. And I'm sure that there's a lot of debate that can happen around that. I don't necessarily want that debate to happen, but if you really feel strongly that I'm wrong, please let me know. But that's just what it sounds like to me, is that it's a terrorist act that occurred, and she seems to be, this prisoner seems to be a relative of that terrorist. There wasn't a lot that went into why she was in prison, and the Gruul dissenter kind of doesn't give any more information, then this person needs to get out. And Osette finds out about it, but Osette says, she says, okay, but now I know that there's a spy among the Boros. So what's more important to me? Getting this spy taken out of the Legion who will undoubtedly do damage to us, or release this prisoner who is an unknown threat, meaning that she might be a threat, she might not be a threat. It is unknown, and it's unknown to what degree she could be a threat, because to be fair, if she has the same ideologies as her relative, that could be quite a dangerous prospect to release that kind of a person out into the general public.
Yeah.
But it could also be that she was simply guilty by association and had nothing to do with it and is not a criminal at all, because as Osette tells us, a lot of times they kind of preliminarily put people in jail.
Yeah. That I thought was kind of messed up.
I mean, yes, agreed, but, it's very Minority Report
It's
of
like
them.
the Tom Cruise movie, yeah.
Look at that, mind meld.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that based on her own experience and her own feelings as to, you could call it nationalism, but her sense of right and wrong, having worked in the position that she's worked in, I think she made the right call. Arguably, that's debatable, but I don't think that she gave in to temptation. I think that she weighed her options and she picked what she thought was best for her hero's journey, as opposed to taking the path of, just turning a blind eye, which,
Yeah.
especially in this day and age, and that's as far as I'll go with that statement, but especially in this day and age where people truly believe that by ignoring the problem, you're part of the problem. And so, again, you take that as you will, whether you agree or disagree with it, but I think that she made a decision, as opposed to kind of not focusing on it and saying, well, you know what, maybe there's a spy, but, I can't let this person out because they might be dangerous. She made a decision. She continued, as I said, on her hero's journey, and then she's accused. She is framed, basically,
Yeah.
for this crime, because where she is then supposed to meet the dissenter, he doesn't show. And she goes to find the dissenter and finds that he's gone. He's gone. In the in the physical sense, he's still there, but he is gone. Yeah. He is dead. He is very dead, and his throat innards have been spilled all over the game board, the chess.
Yum, yum.
What seems to be a chessboard. I mean, obviously it's called Clans and Legions, but it seems like the chessboard has been scattered with his slit throat blood, and seemingly very shortly after their game, which that's when that little girl plants or steals the coin purse, and then it's planted on our hero later.
Yep.
Which I have to say, Nikki got me a bit in this story, because I said to Amy, when we get towards the end of the story and Osette is figuring out the mystery and putting the pieces of the puzzle together of, oh, that's who screwed me over. It was, hold on, I have her name, Arasan, the angel. And I said, well, of course it's Arasan. It's literally the only character we've met in this story who's not dead already. Because every other character we met, besides the hero, right, Osette, we know Osette is innocent because we saw every step that she took after her meeting with Brazier, and Brazier is then dead when we next see him. So we know that Osette didn't do it because we were there. We were the witnesses, right? Traveling around in Osette's brain. But the only person who we've met who would actually be a shock if they were the killer was Arasan, or Arasan, whatever I said.
And I feel like, of course, I mean, you were talking about allegory before, kind of, briefly. That character is a fallen angel. so it makes perfect sense.
And then it's not. In fact, it's not just not her. I mean, she ends up becoming like the major savior, but also it's another character that we've met who we basically were told was dead already, but he's not. He's the boss, the Sergeant Scormac, the Flamekin, who we met earlier, like very briefly, but he's alive because he poisoned himself, but not with a deadly enough poison. And then you have the Minotaur guard, who we just met, who is also in on it, and those are the only two that are in on it. So
bizarre.
Well, so that's why I say she got me. Nikki got me with. Of course, it's Arasan, and then it's not, and it's like, oh well, you got me, but you got me by lying to me as the reader, right? I mean, obviously, as I said, we're in Osette's head, and Osette was also lied to. That the sergeant was dead. He wasn't. So we didn't know that, but also this randomly newly introduced character, again, new to Osette and new to us, newly introduced character is also in on it. And so that was a little weird. I mean,
bizarre.
I get it. It's just, I think, and again, I would have preferred, that does not mean that because I would have preferred it a certain way, that makes this bad, and in no way have I said that this was bad. But I think I would have preferred, for a story focused so much on someone who loves to solve puzzles, I would have loved the pieces to have been there for me to solve.
Yeah. Interesting, yeah.
That's, again, maybe I'm too nitpicky. Maybe that's not what or likely that's not what this story was meant to do.
Right.
But, excuse me, my goodness.
That's a really good point for you to make. And it's not one that I would have made because I'm not a puzzle solver.
And I like I said, I am. I love that kind of stuff. Analytical puzzles, logic puzzles. That's kind of my thing. And so, for me, reading the story, I was like, well, that's not fair.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. That
I wouldn't have gotten that. There was no way for me to have known any of that.
Well, it's dumb that they would mention it and then not actually kind of give you one. But they kind of like teased you with it.
And
faked you out.
Right. But it does let Osette be the one to figure it out. It's just that she goes down the wrong path first, like a maze. She goes down the wrong path first. Oh, and she's a Minotaur too.
Yeah.
Wow, that was really heavy-handed. Wow,
I thought there was a reason for you saying that.
Real heavy-handed. But anyway, yeah, so she goes down the wrong path first, and then is able to, in accusing the angel, and then is able to come back and realize, no, you're the one who's in on it, and the sergeant, and then Arasan comes back out and is not the fallen angel that we thought she was. So again, more information that was hidden from us. She kind of breaks the chains that bind and looks all majestic and deals with the problem. And there's that like 80s action movie moment at the end where Osette is being spoken to, or is speaking to the sergeant, the Flamekin, and he says, good job, Wesleyan, and she goes, that's Wojek Wesleyan. And he's like, what? And she's like, Wojek Wesleyan. That's my title. Use it. And it's like, that's very 80s action movie. And like, for me, just that like half a step too corny.
Yeah. Just
a half a step.
Which is surprising, because you really like some corny stuff.
It's true. That's 100% true. That's real. Yeah. So for me, it was like, I read this from a mile away. When she said Wojek Wesleyan, I knew that the Flamekin was going to say, what? What did you say? And that she was going to say, that's my title. Like, that was a little heavy-handed for me.
James.
Yeah. That's my name, don't wear it out, or something. Like, that was her 80s action movie, like, gotcha phrase. And it was like, ugh, that was a little much for me. But, so maybe those things, those reasons are why, again, my least favorite of the three, that does not mean that it was bad.
Right.
That just means that it was my least favorite of the three, which they have all been pretty damn good. So for this one to not be as good as pretty damn good does not lower it to the level of bad. I don't know if I have more Do you have
I
more?
don't think I do either.
Good. So one last thing that we have to talk about, because you might be able to see there's a little bit more time left in this video, because there's a clip. There's a clip that I want to show all of you. Because maybe, if you like to solve puzzles, maybe you've noticed something's different this week. What could it be? And honestly, you might not have to solve the puzzle if you watch enough videos on our channel. Because last week's JaAR, we mentioned that this week's JaAR, somebody was going to be suffering a punishment. So if you've missed our video on it, spoilers, go watch our Fiancé Finance Bundle Battle. I'll give you a second to go click off of this and watch that to find out who lost, because you're going to find out in a couple seconds here. I did not lose for once, surprisingly. Amy did. And so Amy's punishment for this evening was, because we didn't do it in that video, we saved it for this one. We waited a week for everybody to be able to, we wanted the video to be up for a full week before we did the punishment. And so before we filmed this, we filmed something else. And that was me having no experience whatsoever, which I'm sure Amy can attest. You watch this clip, you will know what I'm talking about. I did Amy's makeup tonight for the show. And I know that the camera's kind of far away, so maybe you weren't perfectly able to see it. Don't you worry, this clip has a nice zoomed in shot of Amy.
Yeah, great.
So I'll be able to put that in there for all of you, and that will be right. What is this? Oh, that's the eyebrow thing.
It's eyeliner.
Yeah, that. And mascara. Okay. I know what I'm doing. Okay. Blush first, right? That makes sense. Let's do the brushes. We have brushes here. Totally not cleaning these after I'm done. Sure, this one. That probably goes to this, but is this the blush? Did we say this already? What is this? Contour. Crap. Sure, we'll do contour first. Let's help Amy contour her face for JaAR. I liked this swirly one, so I'll use this one.
It's not. Okay. Oh no.
It's gonna help you contour.
No. Okay. I won't move.
Contours on your face so that your muscles are more defined, right? Your lines of your face.
Yep.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
All right, good. There's more on here. Turn your head so that I can get this side too.
People do put more on.
People do lines and stuff.
That's not a line. What you're doing.
Okay. I guess I'll use a different color. This one's yellow. We'll go with this color. Yeah, yellow works. That's a very yellow.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like it's just white. It's
Gee, maybe it's because you're not picking the brown colors, which is what contour is.
It says contour palette. There's a lot of different contour colors in a contour palette. Okay? I'm doing the right thing. Yep. Yep. Suck it in so I can get those lines. Your face doesn't look very defined. Fine. I'll pick a brown color, like you said.
I won't put any more input in because that's not right. I shouldn't be doing that.
Okay. Ooh, that's brown. Okay. Turn again. No, other way. I want this cheek now. Okay, we're gonna pretend I did all the other ones in the other direction. Should I have been doing it? Nope. I'm just gonna stick with what I know, which is that I don't know anything. That is, your face is very contoured now. I guess that means I'm done with this brush. So, we go like this. Hey, I actually kind of put it back correctly. Okay. So that goes in there. So contour is done. Closed, and we'll put it away. Okay, good. Next we have this. No, that's this one. Cheekers. That's the blush. Okay, this looks like it needs a smaller brush. I'm going to use this one. Sure. Cheekers. That's a lot of blush. Okay.
I'm terrified right now.
Okay. Well, so I put the contour down at the bottom. I guess I'll put the blush up here. That's a lot of blush. Look at that. Okay.
That tickles.
I guess you're welcome. I guess I should put it up here as well.
I'll try to stop smiling.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's great. Is there supposed to be that line like that separating the two? Okay. Well, turn and face that way. And I'll do this one as well. I gotta do up here like I did with the last one. Uh-huh. Make sure that there's enough blush. Uh-huh. Okay, yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, that... I guess, oh, I did some more there, so I guess I gotta do some over here now, too. I feel like that just really emphasizes the bags under your eyes.
Thanks.
Hey, I have them too.
I already put concealer on them. This is when they look good.
Oh man. Okay, this brush is totally not clean, but we'll put it right back where I got it. Eyeshadow time. I really want to use that fan brush, so I think I'm going to use the fan brush for your eyes. It looks so cool. I want to use it. Look at it.
It does look cool.
Okay,
You
so...
want to show it to the camera?
Did I not? Oh no, I didn't.
not.
It's a fan brush. I want to use this it's super flat too.
I'm
So
going to put that on my eyes.
I'm going to use this fan brush for Amy's eyeshadow. Look at all the different colors I have to choose from. It's a lot of different colors. I'm going to go with... Alright, so we used all those different colors. There's not a lot of blue on your face, so I'm going to go with this like darker blue. It's not really getting picked up. Am I going to ruin, like genuinely, am I going to ruin your brush by doing this?
No.
Okay.
It will not.
Because I definitely don't, like, that affects us financially, so I'd rather not ruin your things.
These are good quality brushes.
Okay.
They're not going to get ruined just because you used them one time.
Or incorrectly. So I'm trying to get this blue here. There's some blue. All right, eyes closed, please, because I definitely don't want to hurt you. Oh, that's actually working. Okay, you seemed to think that it wasn't going to work. It looks like it's working. All right, more blue. In fact, let's see. Okay, other eye, please. Thank you. Let's go ahead and do that. Yes, that is definitely a lighter blue on that eye. Okay. So, oh, I guess I gotta get the top of this one more. Sure, that's even. Okay, so we'll put this back on because I'm done with this sweet fan brush now. Okay, fan brush goes back in.
I pretty much never use that one anyway.
Well, that's the incorrect. This was the coolest brush you have. Why aren't you using it more? Okay, next, let's do Ultra Volume Mascara. Let's go with that. Okay. Ooh, that is thick, I feel like. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Keep your eyes closed.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Okay. Okay.
I saw how you took that out of there.
Okay. Keep them like that. No, I'm doing it. Please tell me if I hurt you at any point. Okay. I'm trying to be nice and gentle. I'm poking your face, aren't I? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go for the other eye. Can you turn towards the? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and go like this now. Oh, okay. Yep, mascara. Yeah, working. Great. This is going... Oh, God. Okay, okay.
So cool.
We're done. Okay. So I don't poke Amy's eyes out. I'm done now. Yep, that was great. Oh, boy.
I can't open my eyes.
Oh, well...
They're gloppy.
They're gloppy. Well, maybe open them before they get stuck like that.
No, I don't want it to go inside my eyes.
Oh, all right. Here is lip liner. So you line your lips with this one, and then I'll use the super red on the other. Now does this? Oh, it does. It does turn. Okay. So now I get to use the lip liner on the outside of your lips like this.
Hold on.
Okay. Laughing is probably not what you want to do.
Sorry.
Nope, you're okay. I'm doing a great job. Nothing is wrong at all. Well, I'm missing, but that's okay.
Color inside the lines.
We're learning. Nope. I have a very unsteady hand. Okay. I am not right-handed. Oh God. Okay. Yup, we're outlining her lips. Okay, back to the left hand. That should probably, it's not better. I thought it would be better, but it is not. Sure, those are your lips lined. Done. I did it. You don't have your glasses on, so you cannot see the camera.
I also can't open my eyes.
That's true, you did say that earlier. Okay, this is very goopy. This is a lot of, okay, are you ready for me to put this on your lips? Okay, do you want to like pucker or something, or, okay, here you go, you ready? Okay, just gonna, yep, and then hold on, I gotta do the top now. Yep, Sorry, hope that tastes okay. Sorry.
Actually, this is one of the few that I don't mind the taste of.
Alright, why don't you do the rub your lips together thing? Or pat them, that's fine too, that works. Totally fine. Yeah, Oh God. Yes, no, that's lovely. You look lovely. You look like Miranda sings.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mascara dried enough where opening my eyes isn't dangerous.
Okay, I think that looks awful. I think we're done. That is it. Hopefully, this has probably gone on after JaAR at this point. But regardless, we're going to go film JaAR now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Amy, why don't you say goodbye to the camera?
Bye. I don't know what I look like.
Yep.
I don't have my glasses
Nope.
on.
We will. Oh, you know what? Why don't I give you the mirror? You can see what you look like at the end of this.
That's probably dangerous.
Yep. Well, you can't change any of it because we're about to go film right now. No matter what. Here's the mirror. I'm not going to like blind the camera here, but I'll show Amy and we'll get to see Amy's reaction. Amy, do not move your head.
Okay.
But you can look down and see what you look like.
I do look like Miranda's.
All right, well, maybe have a better bundle next time. This is the punishment for the Fiancé Finance Bundle Battle for the newest set, Guilds of Ravnica. I have been Joe. That has been Amy. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, well, like I said, we're going to go film JaAR. So there you have it. Amy suffered a punishment.
There's so much in my mouth. Ugh, it's so uncomfortable.
I tried, like I said, I tried for a bit, and then I didn't try for a bit. I was a little bit rushed, but a little bit not. So it's not the worst, and I didn't like purposefully like draw all over her face. You know, like I could have done that, right? I could have just taken the lip gloss and just drawn all over her face. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to like attempt it, but not too far. Like I didn't want to like care too much, but I wanted to at least make it somewhat presentable.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't waste too much time working on it because we needed to film this video and I want to get to bed.
Yes. Yeah, we also have things to do after this. But that is neither here nor there. The last thing that I wanted to say, because at the end you will see popping up our Fiancé Finance Bundle Battle. It'll be around here somewhere. But the other video that's going to pop up here on the screen is going to be the video that we released this past Monday. We tried something a little bit different, Amy and myself. We played SimMTG Arena for the first time. And for the first time, I mean we downloaded it, we set up a new account, and it starts immediately in with the tutorial.
Yeah.
We filmed all of it. We played through the entire tutorial. You will see the first 2 of 5 parts of the tutorial, I believe it is. The first 2 fights were uploaded in the video from this past Monday. If you know how to play Magic, maybe it's not for you, but I still would encourage you to go take a look, because you'll get to see Magic through the lens of someone who is a little less experienced with the game. And that's, again, we are not here to insult Amy's lack of ability. We are trying to let her learn. Because who doesn't want to see people that, to bring more people into the game of Magic, right? That's kind of the idea. And so what I would say is, if you want to go check that video out, great. But more importantly, if you know someone who you want to get interested in Magic, or who you think might be interested in Magic, that video series might be for them. And again, we're going to release one every Monday for the next few weeks, and then we'll move on to doing other things. That will not be the end of our arena play. But that's kind of what we want to try to do, is show what it's like for a new player to be introduced to arena, but I didn't want Amy to fully stumble through it where it just becomes kind of a boring video because Amy's like getting frustrated or just straight up has no idea what to do.
Right, a boring video, or the audience gets frustrated because I'm frustrated, kind of a thing.
Right. And so I wanted to be there at least as backup for her, so that I'll ask her, like, what do you think we should do here? But if she has no idea, I can at least give her my opinion and talk through why I think that, so that she can understand it for the future. And again, so that hopefully some viewers can as well. So I encourage you to send that video along to friends, family, etc. And also, if you like it, right? I'm not asking you to do anything that you do not believe in. If you like that video, we put ourselves up for creator support through Wizards. If you think that that's something that's worthwhile, let them know. Contact them on Twitter, or I don't even know where else you might be able to contact them. I would say Twitter. Check the, access their Twitter account, or if you want to
email them.
Maybe. I think that's for customer help only. If I find out a way to do it, I'll let you guys know in the coming weeks. But that's what I would say. If you like that video, if you think it's worthy, let them know. And I will say, by doing that, that helps us out as a channel, and it does not mean, well, screw it, we're going to become arena streamers. Right. No. It means that we're going to use any and all support that we gain through those videos to make all of our content better, because trust me, JaAR is not going anywhere. It's not. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of JaAR, the punishment for Amy, the Fiancé Finance Bundle Battle, and the arena video. Please let us know what you thought about any and all of those things, but more importantly, at least for this video, let us know your thoughts on this story. Let us know your thoughts on our analysis of the story, our opinions, your opinions. All of that stuff are examples. Examples of you doing something. What would that be? What would you be showing off? Your...
#Vorthos Pride.
Thank you. That was a little clunky. I apologize. But this has been another episode of JaAR. I want to thank you all so much for watching here on the Geek for All YouTube channel. I have been Joe.
And I'm Amy.
And as we always say, guys, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.